All right, welcome back to CBS Detroit. Humanitarian, politician, best-selling author, and my frat brother, who I'm so proud of. Hill Harper is here with us this morning to tell us more about his journey and what is coming next. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. This is great.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
It's good to be back.
So we know that you have a lot going on right now. You're starting a new journey. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it is such an honor to be able to, raise my hand to serve and go across the state and meet so many Michiganders. I'm running for the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate here in Michigan, and it's been a blessing to meet so many people that want real activist representation in Washington. They feel they're not getting the representation they want, and that is an opportunity. So I'm excited about it, and I'm excited about this journey. It's going to be the next year because the primary is August 6, 2024. So it's the next 12 months of my life, and I'll be running for U.S. Senate and raising my son Pierce. And those will be the two things I'll be doing.
Busy time.
Yeah,
Yes.
very busy. You got your goals there. You know, it's interesting. We were talking during the commercial break. You were saying this kind of brings up some emotion being back here in our studio.
Yeah, CBS News Detroit you guys have a whole hallway of all these different programs. And for 9 years of my life, I did a show called CSI New York that was on CBS, and it was a great term of my life, and it was a great time. And every time I was here in Detroit, I'd come here to the studio, talk about the show, promote the show, and so being back in here is fantastic. Even though the lights aren't on, or maybe
That's
folks don't
only
know.
in here.
The lights are on here.
That's
There are no
right
lights
now.
in the hallway.
Yeah.
There are no lights in the hallway.
Power outage in the rest of the building. Well, I
Yes.
want to talk about the transition. I mean, you're so accomplished in so many things, but as being an actor, people, usually laud you, a lot of applause. Going into politics, it's more of a 50-50 split, let's say. Half of the people love you, some will really not like you. How is an, trained actor going to handle that?
I guess I see it this way. I think that people fundamentally want representation, and I think that the polarization and the division we've seen in politics, people are frustrated with that. And so I'm not a politician. I say that. And if folks want someone who's a career politician, they don't want to vote for me. Because if someone has a good idea, I don't care who you are, what party, what letters next to your name. People want solutions, right? People want problems to be solved in their lives, and many don't feel like Washington, D.C. is representing that. They think that it's broken, and I think new leadership and new ideas need to come in to solve some of those problems.
As you're getting out into the community and having these conversations with citizens, what has that process been like so far?
It's been amazing to see how similar we all are. I had a conversation with a small family farmer upstate who told me that the idea he pays 10x for fertilizer, he's having trouble making ends meet, the cost of goods is too high, he has credit card debt. It's the exact same conversation I had with a single mom on the east side of Detroit talking about health care and accessibility. Health care right now is the personal bankruptcies around catastrophic medical is the #1 cause, and that shouldn't be it. 1/3 of the money raised on GoFundMe goes to healthcare. GoFundMe is not a health plan, and people see this and know it, yet who's doing something about it? I think that the triple blue leadership in Lansing is doing a fantastic job. I think our governor needs a partner in Washington to work together to get this done, and diversity of representation is what they want. If I'm elected to the U.S. Senate, lucky enough that Michigan puts me there, I'd be the only U.S. Senator who's a current union member. I'd be one of few U.S. senators that has a child under the age of 10. I would be the first African-American U.S. Senator from the state of Michigan, and only the 12th in the history of our country. And so representation does matter. I'd be one of the few small business owners. The U.S. Senate is one of the greatest, most important bodies in our politics, yet there's not a lot of diversity in it. And I'm not just talking about from a race standpoint, I'm talking about from a life experience standpoint.
So, you mentioned talking to folks in neighborhoods,
Yes.
right, in the city of Detroit, and obviously the stories are so varied. What are you hearing most often from people? Is there a common theme?
Yeah, the common theme that I'm hearing is folks are literally just trying to survive and let alone thrive, and my whole point is I want you to thrive over survive, right? Folks are just keeping their head above water. They're running up credit card debt. Everything's too expensive. Attainable and affordable housing's not there. Healthcare's too expensive. Education system's broken. These are, there was a teacher I was talking to. She was so frustrated. 91% of Detroit public school kids right now are significantly below grade level in reading and in math, et cetera. And it's not the teacher or the administrator's fault. It's the system. And so things have to change systemically for us to see the results for the people.
And looking ahead to your vision, what are you ultimately hoping to see for the state?
Listen, I want more people to choose Michigan like I chose Michigan. You know, we've been losing a congressional district every 10 years because we're 49th out of 50 in growth. Okay, the governor just put out 110 jobs yesterday, a report about that. She's doing a great job going out there recruiting companies to come here, but it's not just about big companies. It's about making Michigan more attractive. We have phenomenal schools here, yet most of our talent that graduates from these amazing universities goes to Chicago, Miami, Austin, Texas, New York, LA. They leave. We need to keep talent at home. So what do we have to do to make it most attractive? I chose Michigan because it's the most, number one, the people are the best people in the world, and it's the most beautiful state. We have 21% of the world's surface water supply that touches our shores, and we got to protect our Great Lakes. We got to celebrate it. We got to attract people here to Michigan and get people to choose Michigan like I did.